Dr. George. He started his career in the year 1987 at the RBS College of Arts and Science as head of the Department of Economics. Later, he moved on to become the Director South India of Infosys UK Limited. He's doing the job of counseling, business development, operations in the domain of recruitment for higher studies, presentation, promoting higher studies abroad, organizing events, bringing in focus audience under one roof. Later, his thirst for knowledge promoted him as the Business Development Executive of the Institute of Commercial Management from Jan 2013 to July 2014. He accomplished the maiden task of putting up the ICM partners in the 3 states of India. He was responsible for identifying partners and specific products in the Indian higher education segment and giving the market edge for the organization. Later, he rose to the post of Country Manager India, the Association of Business Executive in August 2014 and continued till Jan 2016. His role involved business development, accreditation of partners, servicing of partners, and selling programs on behalf of partners, and identifying revenue streams for the Association of Business Executives. Later, he rose to the position of Business Development Associate, which he is still continuing with since November 2016. He also continues as the consultant and country advisor of the Cambridge International Education Centre, UK. So we have a great person to talk to us about igniting your passion. On behalf of the management, on behalf of all of you, I extend a very, very warm welcome to Dr. George. I am sure this will be a real great session for you. I wish this session all the best. And over to you, Dr. George.
Thank you, Nancy. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, yes, you are.
Thank you, Nancy. Good morning, young budding postgraduate students of Tirupur College. I deem it a great pleasure, and it would have been so wonderful to meet you all face to face and have this talk. Unfortunately, we have a very different time where the new normal is the uncertainty we are facing every day. So I feel that the students of this generation is in the yoke of greater responsibility, and especially these postgraduate students who are joining this academic year, you are joining with a new normal, new routine, new class structure, online teaching. So it's a very big responsibility in your hand. And at this juncture, I consider that you need to do a good amount of planning. You need to plan ahead because of the uncertainties featuring this world. So with this short introduction, I would like to go forward with my presentation. But before I start my presentation, I would like to tell you that Dr. Nancy and myself are good friends. We started our career together. And I would also like to let you know that I'm an academician still. So I would say I know what's happening in the academic world locally and internationally. And this, I think, would give a good blend of my exposure and experience to the student community. Some of your students, it's so unfortunate I'm not seeing your smiling faces. I don't know if some of you are on your WeChat or on your WhatsApp. Unfortunately, this being the new norm, we need to march forward. In today's session, I would like to take you to a very important aspect, a very important dimension a very important decision you have to make in your life. I've titled my presentation, about six, 7 slides are there. And I know beyond anything beyond 30 minutes, 40 minutes, face to face is boring. So anything beyond 14 minutes on a on-screen mode should be a very difficult task. But still, I thought I will do justice by just limiting myself to about 6 to 7 slides. The whole purpose of my presentation today is to just one simple thing, just to make you understand that you need to follow your life passionately. God has given a big gift. God has given a beautiful life for you. The next 2 years, you need to identify your passion. And when you identify your passion, we find that you'll be doing, not looking at your watch, you'll be doing tasks, you will be overcoming hurdles, you will be overcoming challenges. There will be no issues in life, problems in life. In fact, you'll have multiple solutions. And this can happen only when you do things passionately. So my task here in today's presentation, about 6, 7 slides, as I said a couple of minutes back, is to understand what is passion, how to ignite your passion, how will you identify the passion in you? That's very crucial. And how to nurture that passion. This has got a very strong implication in the next 4 semesters of your life in Tirupur College. It's a very important phase of your life. And as I said, we have a lot of concoction this year, a lot of spices coming in, and the biggest spice, the biggest misadventure, I would say, is the onset of Corona, the COVID. Loads of uncertainty, but still we need to go forward with the passion. So my task is to create the spark in you. A very tall task doing it online. And when you ignite the spark in you, the passion comes out. And I want your life to be driven by that passion. So with these few words, I would like to start off my small presentation. If you got a pen and paper, I would consider it good because you can make some points, you can make some notes on it. And I'm giving you a task, and hopefully if you carry out the task, I'm sure you would be able to identify your passion and make your life much more happy, much more, with much more bliss, with much, and you will feel that you have lived a contented life. So with this short introduction, let me go forward with the presentation. Can I have the presentation, please? Can I have the first slide, please? I think, hold on one minute. I will put the presentation myself.
Can you see it, George?
I can't say it. Hold on. I can't say it. Or do you want me to try it from my end?
Yeah, now?
Hold on. Hold on.
Can you see it now?
One minute. One minute. One
minute.
I can't see the presentation. Or do you want me to try from my end?
1 second. Now, is it visible?
Not yet, ma'am. Do you want me to try from my end?
If you pin my name, you can see it. Just pin my name.
It's visible. Getting. Shall I do one thing? Shall I try from my end?
Ah,
Just hold on. Please be on the line, okay? So that.
yeah.
I'm getting Dr. Nature. Nancy is presenting, but I'm not able to get it. Okay.
I think it is visible.
It's visible for all.
Yeah, 1 second. Girls, can you see the presentation? Can you put a chat?
Yes, ma'am.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop sharing. So,
You can't
can
see.
I can't still see it, Nancy. One minute.
Did you pin my name?
Yeah, I've got it. I'm just clicking on it. I'm getting. Just pin.
Shall I stop sharing and you try doing the sharing?
Do one thing, Nancy. I mean, I can say, when I say go to the next slide, you can go to the next slide. I'll see my slide from here.
Okay, that's it. That's it. You can do that. Yeah.
Okay. Can you put the first slide on?
Yeah. Ignite your passion is on the screen now.
Correct.
Yeah. With your name.
When I say next slide, you go to the next slide. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
So friends, as I said, my dear friends, I would like to take you through the first important slide, a very simple slide which tells about the title. Each word is important. When I say each word is important, it's very important to understand that your whole life is igniting your passion. And when I say passion, it's very important to understand. You need to understand what's a real calling you. You need to understand what's your life for. You need to understand what you are being in your life and what you look forward in your life. We want to be doing things not mechanically, but it should come from the heart. So that is why I'm giving an importance to the first slide called and titling my topic as Ignite Your Passion. Can we go to the next slide, please? I hope you're seeing the second slide. I'm trying to define passion. Passion is what? It's that what is igniting your soul. You need to do a soul searching of what you want to do, what you want to be in your life. And this fuel will ignite your soul. And when it ignites your soul, my dear friends, your enthusiasm, the energy level, what you call the fire in the belly, you got boundless enthusiasm. You'll be never looking for when to stop your work, when to put an end to a task, because you are all full of enthusiasm, because you are ignited by your passion. And with this comes a very important element, the third bullet. You would be dedicated. You would be having total dedication. You have one particular devotion. You will have one particular cause. And this is what a passion is about. So, my dear friends, you are in the campus for the next 2 years. You've joined computer science, you've joined commerce, you've joined international business, you've joined your postgraduate streams. And when you join all these postgraduate streams, it is very important that you take your next 4 semesters, 2 years in your campus during your postgraduate studies. You need to do things passionately. And when you do things passionately, as I said, there's a fire in your belly. There is no limit. There are no boundaries. You would be going forward. You would be looking at opportunities. So it is very important that you need to identify your passion. So my first slide is to tell you, once you're doing anything with passion, it is igniting your soul. You got loads of energy. You don't have to take an energy drink. You have loads and boundless enthusiasm in you. You are working for a cause with absolute devotion and you're totally dedicated. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, when you say you're doing something with passion, now passion can be anything. It can be a hobby, it can be a professional interest, it can be music, it can be gardening, it can be writing short stories, it can be a literary work, it can be whatever it is your passion. Once you do anything with passion, my dear friends, there are no obstacles. You will never find there are obstacles. You would be finding there are no obstacles, and if there are obstacles, you will not only overcome it, but please remember the second slide, the second bullet. You are offering multiple solutions. You have an issue, you have a task to be completed. You are not looking at the hurdle, you are not looking at obstacle, you are not looking at an impediment which helps you, which stops you from not going forward. You're not finding one solution, by dear friends. So if you're doing it with passion, you find multiple solutions. Now, with the Google Auntie in your heart, in your hand, most of you have smartphones. Is there one question which does not have an answer? This was no, it's not so. You would like to know about DMAT. You would like to know about SharePoint. You would like to know about Exim Bank. Whatever be your domain of studies, we find that we have umpteen number of source of information available. You've got excellent YouTube which can train you even to make a nuclear bomb. You can be excellent cooks without even entering the kitchen. You can be an excellent musician without going and sitting in front of a musician or a tutor to teach you. So what I'm trying to tell is that I'm telling when you have a passion in you, you will never have an obstacle in front of you. You're not only finding one solution, but you're finding multiple solutions to get from point A to point B. If there is something driven by your mind, by your soul, which is your passion, you will find not one solution, but you'll find multiple solutions. Now, suppose you want to change your mobile phone, you'd like to go for the latest iPhone, or you would like to upgrade your phone. I'm sure you will have methods of talking with your father, speaking with your mom, identifying the soft spots, telling them a good plan, and you have a solution at hand. Because if you're passionate about having a very good phone, you will ensure that you will somehow convince your parents to get you the resources to upgrade your phone. So what I'm trying to tell is that once you have a passion in you, there are no obstacles in front of you. So it's very important. Once you have a passion, you would be self-driven. You would be self-motivated. Now, a person with passion would do anything with full enthusiasm. That was my first slide. And when you're doing this full enthusiasm, full energy and vigor, what happens is that you become, the third bullet, very knowledgeable. Now, suppose you want to change your phone. Let me stick on with most of you having smartphones and most of you spending time on WhatsApp and WeChat and other YouTube. If you want to upgrade your phone, there would be someone in your class, among your friends, who would be very knowledgeable about phones, about the camera, about the hard disk, about the softwares, about the compatibility, about how you can take good photographs. So once you have a passion in you, automatically you become knowledgeable. Suppose you would like to know, suppose there's somebody in the class who is passionate about share trading, or who's passionate about designing, or who's passionate about, let me say, web designing for that matter. He becomes very knowledgeable because I said you're not finding an obstacle, but you've got solutions. That person becomes very knowledgeable, and he's the go-to person He becomes the most resourceful person in your group, in your class, in your campus, and he becomes the one point of contact for the passion he has. It can be anything. It can be music. Suppose someone is very knowledgeable in Carnatic music, or someone is very knowledgeable about Western music, or someone is very knowledgeable about Tamil music. Anything happens in the campus, he is the go-to person. So when you have a passion, you become knowledgeable, you become resourceful. And this happens in the workplace as well. Suppose we are working in a company, you're a group of programmers, and suppose I believe you've got computer science in your campus, so or you have a group of commerce students in the campus. Suppose someone is very knowledgeable about share market, he would be the go-to person on taking tips on share trading. Which are the shares which are likely to go up? Or suppose someone is very knowledgeable about the foreign exchange market. He is the knowledgeable person, he's the resourceful person to know anything about how the shares are going to go, or how the foreign exchange is going to go, how the dollar value is going to go up or down. So what happens is that when you're doing something passionately, your friend circle comes to know. You become devoted. You become center. You become resourceful, and people come to you. And naturally, when people come to you, what happens is that you would enhance your knowledge because they'll be giving you lots of problems and you'll be identifying solutions for it. So automatically, what happens? You become more knowledgeable, more resourceful. The next important thing is that the fourth bullet is that when you're knowledgeable, when you're resourceful, what happens? You become a performer. You become very successful. And this is this has made the businessmen successful in their lives. You take anybody, any of the CEOs of India or any of the big CEOs in the world, they've become performers, they've become successful because they're able to identify their passion. They nurtured it, they ignited it, they became knowledgeable, they became resourceful. They worked without looking at their watch. So please remember, my dear friends, it is very important to identify your passion. Once you identify your passion, you will find opportunities, you will find solutions, you become knowledgeable, and last but not the least, you become a performer, you become successful, and you become a star, be it in your college, be it in your home, or be it in your office, or be it in society. So passion is what you need to identify. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, my dear friends, let me connect the passion with your postgraduate course you have selected. Now, you are all 20 plus years of age. You have joined in Covenant College. You have identified a particular stream, a particular course. Some of you have moved vertically from maybe from BCom to MCom, or from BBA to MBA, or from BSc Computer Science to MSc Computer Science. But some of you would have made a horizontal movement. Not be the case much in India. I'm not sure, but there could be some students who would be doing the second PG because that's a horizontal movement. The other one is vertical movement. If you're really passionate, there's no harm in an horizontal movement. Suppose I do hello. So if you're doing a horizontal movement, what happens is that you finish one PG, you not join for the next PG. There's no harm as long as you're driven by that passion. But in Indian case, it's mostly from UG to PG. And mostly we find students going from BCom to MCom, BBA to MBA, or BSc Computer Science to MSc Computer Science. But remember, my friends, there's no harm in moving in the same domain or even shifting your domain. There could be students joining from BBA to BCom, or there should be students joining from BCom, they finish and they'll go for MCA. There's no harm in it. But it's very important, whether it's the same domain or whether you're shifting your domain, please remember, you need to think of the careers ahead of you. Now, this is very important when I say, because you have selected commerce as your discipline, You have selected international business as your discipline. You have selected mathematics as your discipline. You have selected literature for your PG. So you have selected your PG program. But very important, my dear friends, you need to identify what is the passion in that program. Very important, I repeat, because you're all coming from different backgrounds. You're all coming from different, you've got different upbringing in your life. Your skills are different. You're all blessed. You're all having different attitude in life. You're all having different skill sets in life. So it's important, my dear friends, since you have taken your postgraduate program, you need to identify a domain in this postgraduate program which you have to be passionate about. Let me make the point very clear. For example, if you have taken computer science, now you need to think the third bullet, the different careers ahead of you. If you've taken computer science, you can become a network engineer. You can get into design if you're very good in creative skills. You need to get into web development. You have, suppose you feel that you wouldn't mind spending your time being a coder. You can get into coding. If you feel, okay, let me get into cybersecurity, it's a very important area. You can get into cybersecurity. So, my difference, what I'm trying to tell is that among the course you have selected, you need to be passionate in one domain. Now, if I'm taking over, or you would like to be, suppose you're very good in game development, you're very good, you can become a gamer. But some of students find that they take computer science thinking that it is just like playing a computer game. You can become a game tester. So what I'm trying to tell here is that within the course you have selected, you are studying number of subjects. Select one particular subject and make that your passion. If you're taking, there are commerce students, you can become a corporate, you can work for the corporate, you can work as a consultant, you can work for the you can work for the banking segment, you can work in the in the insurance segment, you can get into accounting, you can get into costing. Suppose you are interested in working for multinational companies, you may be interested in doing your British qualification called as ACCA, or if you're getting into American, you need to start thinking of American accounts, you need to start thinking of your CPA, CFA, or would you like to get into other, would you like to be an entrepreneur on your own? Potentials are many. Mathematicians among you, you would like to become a teacher, or would you like to help online teaching? Would you like to get into computer science? Would you like to get into data science? Excellent opportunities are there with analytics in each of the areas I said. So, my dear friends, or suppose I understand there are commerce students, there are international business students who can be entrepreneurs. You can specialize in documentation, or would you like to specialize in foreign exchange, logistics, marketing? If a language skill is good, whether it be computer science, whether it's mathematics, whether it's commerce, you can be content writers if your language skill is good. So what I'm trying to tell is that you've picked your postgraduate course. Among the postgraduate program course, there are domains. You need to identify one particular domain. As I said in the last bullet, it can be in that particular domain, it can be cross-domain. What I said is that suppose you're mathematics, you can get into analytics with some knowledge of computer. Or you can shift your domain for that matter. There's no harm in doing it. You want to be an entrepreneur? Yes, you can be an entrepreneur. There are computer students who think, okay, I have my own startup. Let me create an app for college students. Yes, you can be your own entrepreneur. So you can shift your domain. So my friends, with this slide, what I'm trying to tell is basically you have selected the next 2 years you're going to be in Covenant College. You have your syllabus in your hand. You go through the subjects you're going to learn first, second, third, fourth semester. Identify one particular area, one particular domain which you're most passionate about, and try to create a career within that. Can we go to the next slide? Now, how do you search your passion? I said you've got your curriculum, You got your subjects. How do you search your passion? You need to read a lot. You need to understand which are the areas, emerging areas of technology. I'm sure any computer students would know security is one important area. Data science, data analytics is another important area. So you need to read a lot. General reading is very important. Listening to news is very important. All if you've got smartphones in your hand, you're going to get a lot of time and understand at least for this semester your teaching is going to be online mode. Teachers are going to give you a lot of reading material. You may have access to online libraries. So reading is important, listening is important. The next two bullets are very important, my dear friends. You need to understand yourself. You need to introspect. You need to understand, okay, what are the skills? Am I good in coding? Or am I good in marketing? Or would I like to sit down in front of a computer and spend time analyzing data analysis? Or am I, or would I like to be an entrepreneur? Do I have got good ideas in my mind? So you need to do an introspection. And when you introspect, you may have a list of ideas which goes in your mind. What the last line, what you recollect doing, what you dream doing about, what you wouldn't mind doing all day. When you introspect, you find, okay, what am I? What is the best thing I do? What's a good thing I do? Can it be? Can it be? What can it be? Tasting food? Can it be tasting tea? Or would I like to work for an NGO? Am I interested in social service? Or I'm not telling. Would I like to be a good homemaker? Because you feel your father and mother were too busy in their lives. So probably you think, I would not want the children to grow up like this. You can introspect. You understand yourself, understand your mind. In a silent mode, you understand what is good for you. And my dear friends, next after that, I would like to do a very small exercise with each of you. As I said, please take it down, understand, analyze yourself, and see whether you have a strength, the weakness, the opportunity, and the threat. What is the strength? Would you like, you're telling, okay, I'll get into coding. When you say get into coding, do you think you have the strength in analytical reasoning? Or you say, I would like to get into marketing. Do you think you are a go-getter? You would like to go out? Or do you think you would like to get into consulting role? Do you think you've got good language abilities? So you need to understand what is your strength. And each of us have got our own weakness. So you need to accept the weakness and identify a domain, identify a role which would minimize your weakness. And thinking outward, that's the first 2 points I said. You need to see the opportunity the world is offering, the threat perceptions the world is offering. My dear friends, your principal and myself started a career 30 years back. We all started as a teacher. We are winding up. We are hanging our gloves as a teacher. Most of your parents would have started with one profession and they would all be retiring the same profession. But the threat, and the last bullet I wrote on threat perception, there's going to be new normal in this world, which means that you cannot start as a teacher and then end as a teacher because the world is changing very fast. The world is moving very fast. The dynamics of the world are so changing. We have a very volatile world. In a volatile world, there is a new equilibrium. You move from one equilibrium to the next equilibrium. You will have to change your jobs. You need multi-skills. So what I'm trying to tell basically is that when you read and understand, you will see what are the opportunities, what are the threats which are coming up as the world is unfolding. And COVID is a good example. People are working from home. I'm doing this presentation from my home. You're all sitting in the comfort of home. There's a new normal coming up. It's a threat, it can be an opportunity. And to take up this threat and opportunity, what is the strength? What are the good qualities you have to take that particular profile, to take up that particular designation, to take up that particular job? So, my dear friends, you need to search for your passion. And when you search for your passion, automatically. You need to think, you need to read, you need to listen, you need to understand yourself. And as I said, you need to do you need to do an analytical study of the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat perceptions. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, my dear friends, you need to identify your passion. So I said a couple of minutes back, your domain in your course should be the first thing. Identify what area you would like to do. You need to, I said you, I wanted you to have a book in your hand. My dear friends, how many of you have ever thought you're starting your career in Tirupur Kumaran College? Have you ever thought the name of the organization you would like to work for 5 years from now? You need to think about it. Should I be working for Pfizer? Should I be working for Greenlace Bank? Should I be working for State Bank of India? Should I be working in Infosys? Should I be working in a logistics company? Have you thought about the designation? What role, what profile you would like to have? What's the title you should have? Marketing manager, or financial analyst, or computer programmer, or computer designer? My dear friends, you need to think about the organization you would like to work for. You should write down in the next couple of weeks the designation you would like to have for yourself 5 years from now. And very important, once you write the designation, you need to write the profile of the job. When I say the profile of the job, I'm connecting with the last slide I said. When you write the profile of the job, they'll be writing what is the qualification you require, what are the skills you require, what is the aptitude you require, whether you have the intelligence coefficient for that, emotional coefficient for that, the social point for that. That's why I said you need to introspect. So my last slide was on basically analyzing yourself. My next slide, the slide which I'm discussing right now, tells you what you need to be there, what qualities you need to have to be there in that particular job, in that particular designation, in that particular organization, in that particular profile. And my dear friends, there is a bridge, there is a gap. I hope I'm clear on the last slide. You did analyze yourself, you found the domain, you introspected yourself, you understood what particular domain you would like to pick from. This particular slide tells you 5 years down the line what job you're looking for, what skill sets you're looking for, what is the aptitude you should have. And my dear friends, I'm sure there will be a gap. And this gap is going to be filled in the next 4 semesters, 2 years in the college. You should do it. And if you do it, my dear friends, and when you have the opportunity to do it, I'm sure you will reach that particular, because that's your passion. I hope I'm clear, my dear friends. You're looking at your passionate job. You're trying to identify your passionate profile for you. You're identifying the passionate organization for you. You need to understand what qualification, what skill sets, what aptitude you need to have. And my dear friends, your journey into the Kumaran College starts. For the next 4 semesters, the next 2 years, trying to attain that qualification, trying to achieve that skill set, trying to develop the aptitude towards that particular job. And my dear friends, this is the task in your hand, because you're all joined fresh. You've got 4 semesters and 2 years to go into the college. So my dear friends, let us see how we can fill this gap. Because on the one side, you said, this is what I want to become, and this is my dream job. What I want you to do in the next slide is that how you do it in the next 2 years. Can we go to the next slide, please? My dear friends, you need to build your passion. If you want to become a web developer, or would you like to get into networking, or suppose you want to get into coding, or costing, or social service, or a consultant, or work for a corporate in the finance department, in the foreign exchange, or logistics. You need to mentally imagine that. You need to start thinking about it. You need to think mentally about it. Okay, I'm looking forward to become the CFO of a company, or the CTO of a company, or MD of a company, or I would like to have my own company, or I would like to develop an app. You start mentally thinking about it. And when you start mentally thinking about it, my dear friends, a visual images also come into existence. You start thinking about it. First, you think about it, then you visually imagine, okay, sitting in an office, 10 people working under you, having an app company, having your own server space, or you are thinking of working for a social service organization, having an NGO on your own, or suppose you were into the marketing, you're having a 10 people working under you, or you're getting into digital space of marketing, you have a digital, you're getting into content writing, you're working for the big company. So you start thinking of it. You think of your office, you think of the people around you, the prices, the accolades you're going to receive when you perform well. So start thinking mentally, start thinking visually, and slowly you start dreaming big. And when you start dreaming big, my dear friends, it goes into your mind. You're driven by your mind. And that's when the passion is lit. You're igniting your passion. And once you're igniting your passion, a couple of slides back, I said, you will never find obstacles in your life. You'll never find problems in your life. You'll find multiple solutions, not one by one. You're finding multiple solutions. So start building your passion. You need to start dreaming about it. Start thinking about it. And ultimately, your brain will be driving you towards it. Can we go to the next slide, please? Hold on. So we go to the next slide. In the next slide, what happens is that it's very important as you build your passion, the next 4 semesters, 2 years in the campus, you need to select the right partner. When I say right partner, you need to find your select your you need to identify a group of friends who thinks alike, a group of the teacher who's good in particular domain you have selected. You should be in a WhatsApp group who would be discussing this. You should be watching YouTube, which is discussing your passion, your interest, your domain. You should be joining in the college clubs where your passion can be taken forward. You should be joining organizations. Ultimately, suppose you want to work in the costing, or you'd like to do American accounting. You should be thinking of joining Ernst and Young. You should be thinking of joining uh, the consulting companies, the big consulting companies, so that no, you are thinking about selecting the right partner because you identified your passion, you identified your interest. So you're moving forward in having the right group of friends, the right selecting the teacher who can help you, a group, a WhatsApp group, which should be discussing this. So, my dear friends, the next 4 semesters, you should be avoiding negative people, negative moments. And please remember, there should never be a twist of a no choice situation. So you're building your passion right from right from the uh, right from right from the beginning, so that no, you are building your passions. Can passion. So can we go to the next slide, please? So many friends, the next 4 semesters, the next 2 years. Please remember, I said you should have a journal, you should have a book in your hand. You need to build your CV towards your domain of interest, towards the passion you have in your mind. You should do curricular activities, co-curricular, extracurricular. Everything should be towards the domain you've selected, towards the job you're doing, towards the towards the profile of job you have in your mind. So because it becomes a passion. So be it be it your curricular activities or co-curricular activities, extracurricular activities, you should be driving towards your domain. And what happens, my dear friends? Every semester, you should set goals. Okay, this semester, I will do this. Second semester, I will do this. Third semester, I will do this. Now, it can be your assignments. It can be mini projects. It can be major projects. It can be internship. Some of you may tell me, so there is no mini project in my semester. Go and ask your teacher, can I do a mini project? Can I do an internship? Very important element is certification. There are global certifications which are accepted by the employers. So you should participate in seminars, you should participate in workshops, and you can jointly publish papers along with your teachers. So, my dear friends, I said bridging the gap. I said on one side you have your passion, on the other side you have your the passion would be the bridge towards you would be exactly bridging the gap. You are here in Tirupur College for the next 4 semesters. You have a dream job in your hand. The gap is filled by fueling your passion, igniting your passions by taking assignments which is close to your domain. Mini projects, internship, everything is driven towards the domain of interest, towards your area of interest. And my dear friends, this is how you build your CV. And when you go for campus placement, you will find your CV would be very clear. Okay, you want to specialize in finance? Yes, done a mini project in finance, done internship in finance, done a certification in finance, attended a seminar in finance, did a workshop in finance, I've done a publication in finance. The person who interviews you would be very convinced that you're focused in life, that you've got it very clear, you're dedicated to finance, and my dear friends, and that's how your CV is going to be different from a CV from your next the competitor who's coming behind. And that's how, my dear friends, you should be spending the 4 semesters, the next 2 years in Kumaran campus. My dear friends, the last slide. I'd really be happy if your passion you identify, the domain you identify is also your hobby. Then work becomes your hobby. If work is hobby, you will never look at your watch. If work is your hobby, you will never rest in your life because it's your hobby. I envy the heroes and the heroines of silver screens, actors and musicians. They have one hobby, their hobby is acting, their hobby is singing, their hobby is music. And just imagine getting paid for that. If you're really lucky, my dear friends, if work is your hobby, please remember there is a blend of the personal and professional passion. But somehow, my dear friends, you should have a professional passion. Together, along with it, you should also have a personal passion. Because only then the next bullet and what I'm trying to tell makes sense. Your work-life balance. Because you have a life, you'll all be living a family life. You've got social commitments, you've got family commitments, you've got your personal commitments. So the work-life balance can happen if you have a personal passion, which goes along with your professional passion. The work-life balance happens. And when that happens, my dear friends, my dear students, you're all becoming human beings and not human doings. You don't do things just for doing. You do it with your heart, you do it with your mind, you do it with your soul, and you do it passionately. Just imagine if your mother comes home, your father is going for a job. The moment he does it passionately, let us take your homemaker mother who's a homemaker at home. If she's putting the passion of cooking into making a dish for you, that dish is going to taste much more better than any taste any big chef can make because she's giving her soul in it, she's driving, she's putting a passion to that cooking. And this is what I want to you, my friends, attending this short talk to identify your passion, identify the domain, identify the skill sets required, and in the next 4 semesters, drive You should be driven by this passion to reach that goal in life. And as I said, the only thing what I want to do last is that have a small notebook in your hand. Write down the name of the company you want to join. Write down the name of the job, the designation you would like to have. Write down the profile of that particular job. See the qualification. See the skill sets you need. See the aptitude needed. And next 4 semesters to Kumaran College, I want to develop that attitude, that skill, the social, the emotional, and the intelligence coefficient. And I'm sure under the leadership of Dr. Rachel Nancy, the principal, and very competent faculty who works there, I'm sure you will all be driven by this. You will all be guided, molded, and taught to have to ensure that you reach your passion, your domain. With these few words, I went up. Thank you. Hello.
Hello.
I'm
Hello,
done.
George.
I'm done, Nancy. So if
Okay,
there,
okay. So thank
if
you so
there,
much, George.
I know. Thank you.
Uh,
Welcome. Yeah.
Dr. Niti, are you online? Nityanand? Okay. Thank you so much. It was Dr. Nityanand's turn to propose the vote of thanks. Anyway, I think he is not in line now.
Good.
So on behalf of all the students, PG students of Tirupur Kumaran College, I heartily thank Dr. George Joseph Alapat for having agreed to speak to our students, and this is really a very very important topic on igniting your passion. So really I'm sure that their passion has been ignited by your talk, George, and thank you so much for having spared your precious time to be with us. Thank you once again. Thank you one and all. Thank you.
Well,
Yes.